So this critical minimum effort theory is given by Harvey, Leibenstein, okay, and he looked at the relationship between three factors, okay. These three factors are your per capita income, growth in population, and investment. Okay. So here, if you remember in the book push, big push approach, okay, in the trap model, what we are looking at, we are looking at relationship between per capita income, growth in per capita income, and growth in population. Okay, that framework we are using here. Okay, we are using in the Leibenstein formulation. Okay, so in the critical minimum effort, okay, Leibenstein, what he is looking at? He is looking at relationship between three factors. What are that three factors? Per capita income, your growth in population, and investment. Okay, he defined investment, okay, as income generating factor, okay, or stimulant. He defined investment as income generating factor, okay, or stimulant, and population growth as income depressing factor or shock. Okay. So what he is looking at? He is looking at relationship between per capita income, population, and investment. Okay. So we have income generating factor. Okay. And investment is considered to be the income generating factor. We have income depressing factor, and that is population growth. Okay. So when we are making a small investment, okay, a small investment will need to small increase in your per capita income, small increase in per capita income. Okay, this small increase in per capita income will induce your population growth. Okay, and whatever is the increase in your per capita income, small increase in per capita income, okay, it will be eaten by growth in population. Okay, let me repeat what I am saying. I am saying when you have a small investment, a small increase in investment, then there will be a small increase in per capita income. Okay, that will induce population growth. Okay, so this is small increase in per capita income, okay, will be eaten up by your growth in population. So there will be no development taking place. Okay. Therefore, what we require? We require large increase in investment. Okay. If there is a large increase in investment, okay, what will happen? There will be large increase in per capita income. So when you have large increase in per capita income, there will be a possibility, okay, that if we are taking this development strategy above certain critical minimum level of investment, okay, then this large increase in per capita income may exceed, okay, your gravitational pull factor of population growth. Okay. So when you have large increase in per capita income that exceed your gravitational pull factor of population growth, then we say that there can be economic growth taking place. If you remember yesterday what I have done, okay, taking the log, okay, so we have got growth in output equal to growth in per capita income minus growth in population. Okay. So if your growth in per capita income is large enough, then growth in population, we can see that we are having sustained increase in output over time. Okay. So this is what he is talking about, that if the development strategy is above certain critical minimum level of investment, okay, then we will be having development taking place in the economy. Okay. And here what he is saying is that when we want to develop, okay, it is not necessary that we have to take investment at one shot. In the balanced growth theory, what we are talking about? We are talking that we have to take large comprehensive investment. Okay. And in the Leibenstein model, okay, this is what we have to say, that on the sector must be coming up simultaneously. We have to take large comprehensive investment. But here, Leibenstein is saying that we no need to take this effort, okay, at a single shot. Okay, we no need to take critical minimum effort at single shot. Okay, what we have to do? This critical minimum effort will be more effective. Okay, if we split this into a series of effort. Okay, and we have to optimally time it. Okay, let me repeat what I am saying. I am saying that he is saying, okay, we have to take critical minimum effort, okay, not at single shot. We don't have to make large comprehensive investment at the same time. Okay, this critical minimum effort, okay, will be more effective. Okay, when it will be more effective, when I am going to split this one, okay, and taking series of small effort, and I have to optimally time it. When I am able to optimally time it, okay, then what will happen? Economic development will take place at a sustained rate. Okay, this I am going to show with graph. Okay, just wait. Now, as I talk to you people that when growth is taking place, okay, we have two factors. One is the income generating factor, other is the income depressing factor. Okay, so growth in the economy is possible, as I showed with the equation already. Okay, growth in the economy is possible when income generating factor, okay, is greater than income depressing factor. Okay, then only we can have growth. When income generating factor, okay, the thing that is inducing investment, okay, is greater than income depressing factor, then only growth will take place. Okay, so here he talk about role of growth agent. Growth agent. Okay, so who are these growth agents? Okay, so he is saying that there is a quantum of capabilities, okay, residing in the people of the country. What it is? What is this growth agent? It is the quantum of capability or capacity residing in the member of the country, okay, to carry out activity related to growth. Okay, so they will carry out the activity that will create growth in the economy. Okay, and who are these agents? They are entrepreneur, they are saver in the economy, and innovator. Okay, so this growth agent facilitate income generating factor. Okay, so the expansion of growth agent, okay, is necessary for the income generating factor. Okay, so the role of growth agent is very important. Okay, it is this growth agent, okay, that is taking decision, okay, and that is creating income generating factor. Okay, and that is why we can see that growth in the economy is possible when we are having income generating factor, okay, greater than income depressing factor. Okay, now let's look this model with the graph. Okay, so I am taking per capita income on the vertical axis, time on the horizontal axis. Okay, suppose O is your non-level of income, non-level of per capita income. I have taken per capita income OE. Okay, this is non-level of income. Okay, let's draw this line. Over time, if your income is not changing, it remain there, so it will be OE. Okay, OM is your critical minimum level of income, level of per capita income. Say OM here. Okay, this is the critical level of income. Okay, critical minimum level of income. Now there is a gap between these two, OM and OE, ME. Okay, let's divide this gap into two areas. This gap I am dividing into two areas. Okay, so this is area 1 and this is area 2. Okay, now suppose OA is the initial level of per capita income. OA. Okay, OA is the initial level of per capita income. First, there is an injection. Okay, initially injection of investment in place. Okay, So my per capita income increases from OA to OB. Okay, and look at this curve. Let me draw this curve. Okay. What I am saying is that OE is your non-average of income. Okay. OM is your critical minimum level of per capita income. OA is your initial level of income. Okay. So initially we begin with income level OA. Okay. First we finance injection. Okay. So initial injection of investment increase my per capita income from OA to OB. Okay. So I move from OA to OB. Then over time my per capita income is increasing. Then at time t, say at this time t, okay, I finance second injection of investment. Okay. That shift my per capita income from C to D. Okay. So I achieve critical minimum level of per capita income. Okay. If I am not optimally timing my second injection of investment at time t, okay, this BCY curve will follow the path CY. Okay, and we will move to this non-level of per capita income. Okay, so that is why he is saying we no need to take one short investment. Okay, we can take a series of investment. Okay, but we have to optimally time it. Okay, in order to attain sustained growth in output over time. Okay, sustained increase in per capita income over time. So on the horizontal, on the vertical axis, I have taken per capita income. On the horizontal axis, I have taken time. Okay, this is non-level of income OE. Okay, so non-level of per capita income. Then OM is my critical minimum level of per capita income OM. Okay, so this gap ME. Okay, I divide this into two areas, area 1 and area 2. Okay, my initial level of per capita income is OA. Okay, so I have finished first injection in terms of investment, and my per capita increases from OA to OB. Okay, what I am saying is that I have finished first injection, or you can say initial injection of investment, that shift my per capita income from OA to OB. Okay, so what happened? There will be increasing per capita income over time. Okay, it increased in here. Then at time t, I have to make second injection of investment. Then I can move from C to D. If I am not making, I will be following this path, CY path, and my per capita income will be falling to this no level. Okay, if I optimally time my investment at time t, okay, what will happen? I will move from C to D, and this is the critical minimum level of per capita income. Okay, this is what Leibenstein is saying, that we have to do what? We have to break this critical minimum effort. Okay, will be successful, will be more effective if we split the series of effort. Okay, and take investment decision, take investment decision and optimally time it. In everyone? Okay. So this is what he is talking about this thing. Okay. Now, this critical minimum effort, okay, the reason that it arises, okay, or it is necessitated, there are four reasons mainly why this critical minimum effort is required. Okay, so necessitating factor or reason for critical minimum effort. Necessitating factors for critical minimum effort. Okay, so factors of production or inputs are indivisible. Okay, you require them in certain minimum amount or in full. Okay, you cannot make divisible. Factor of production you cannot divide. So factor of production are indivisible. You require it in certain amount, okay, minimum amount, or you require it in full. Okay, otherwise there will be internal diseconomies. Cost will be high when you have internal diseconomy. Okay, that is why you require critical minimum level of investment. Okay, why we require critical minimum level of investment? Because there are certain factor of production which is used in the production process, or you can say there are certain input that are used in the production process that are indivisible. You will be required in certain minimum amount. Without that, there will be internal diseconomies. Okay. Second thing, we talk about mutually interdependency between firms and industries. Okay. So we have talked many times, when you have mutual interdependency, this will give rise to external economies. Okay. And this external economies will be achieved when you will be having certain minimum level of firms and industries. As long as you don't have certain minimum level of firms and industries, this external economy will not be achieved. Okay, that is why you require certain critical minimum level of investment to set up certain minimum level of firm and industry. Without setting this certain minimum level of firm and industries, okay, it is not possible to get external economies. Okay, third, there are forces, okay, in the economy. Economy is subject to forces. It can be autonomous or induced. Okay, that is increasing your income differentiating factor. Okay, so there can be autonomous or induced factor, that is increasing your income depressing factor. Okay, that is why you require critical minimum level of investment or critical minimum effort. Let me add it. Okay, willingness to take risks, research and development. Okay, these activities originate in an economy when you have certain minimum level of investment taken in the economy. Okay, if there is not certain amount of investment in the economy, there will be no willingness to take risks will arise. There will be no research and development will be taken. Okay, so on this factor, okay, necessitate that we need to have certain minimum level of investment. Okay, for promoting growth in the economy. Okay, then only growth process will set in the economy. Okay, so this theory of Harvey Rosenstein, okay, if we compare with the Rosenstein-Rodan, okay, where he talk about big push in terms of large comprehensive investment, okay, is improvement a better thing? Okay, why? Because here he is saying that we no need to have single shot. Okay, in terms of critical minimum effort, we don't need to do that. Okay, what we have to do, we have to take effort in terms of series of smaller effort. Okay, we have to optimally time it. Then only we can achieve sustained development. Okay. Now, limitation of the model. So first thing, he talk about relationship between per capita income and population growth. Okay. So the way he has presented relationship is in a very simplified way. Okay. So when your income increases, so per capita income will also increase. So it will have important bearing on population. Population will increase, but population depend on other factors also. Okay, like your society attitude, traditional custom. On this factor, population growth depend. It not only depend on your per capita income. Okay, so there is no one-to-one relationship that you can establish. Okay, when any developing country is initially developing, okay, so at initial development stage, they required foreign investment, foreign capital, you can say, foreign trade, and international relationship. Okay, these things are important. When you are developing, you require capital from the foreign country, you require foreign trade, you need to have proper foreign relationship, then only you can develop. Without that, it is not quite that much possible. Okay, if you look at the picture. Okay, so the model that he had presented, okay, applicable in the Knowledge economy, but we cannot ignore interdependency among world. There is interdependency. Okay, no country is running in an autarky. Okay, there is an interdependency of every country on each other. Okay, so interdependency aspect has been not looked at. Fourth thing, relationship between per capita income and growth. So when you are able to increase your per capita income, you are able to increase growth. Okay, this look very rudimentary argument. Okay, because growth depends on several other factors, not only on per capita income. Per capita income is one of the determinant of growth. Okay, and when we are saying that when per capita income increases, growth increases, that means we are taking other factor as to be given. Okay, but that is not the case when we are talking about development. Okay, we have to look at other factor also that is influencing our growth. That aspect is also not looked at here. Okay, this is what you have in the critical minimum effort provided by Harvey University. Okay, great.